Okay, everyone, we'll get started now because I'm assuming everyone's joined, and I will get logged in. So, as usual, I just want to cover just a couple of the small new releases that's been pushed out over the last couple of weeks. Nothing major updates, but just little tweaks that will help you here and there. So, one of them that I will cover first of all is we've added the journey details to a contact page. So, I just go to the web activity page and just pick out someone just to give you an example. Let's try and pick out one of us. Hopefully they'll have gone on a journey, but on the activity page, there we go. What it'll do now, when it describes the campaign name and the subject line, it's also going to give you a link to the journey name that they've actually come from. So it just gives you a bit more detail on the contact page, where it's incredibly useful, obviously, for if the sales team are logging in, or just for your reference, really, because as you know, we keep a full history of a contact. So it could go back 6 months to a year, even longer. So for you, then you can look, right, what journey was this? And if you click on it, it will then take you to the journey reporting page, so you can remind yourself of what that specific journey was. So just a nice little addition to the contact page there. Secondly, you'll have noticed, or hopefully have noticed, in Journey Manager, we've now got a notes component. So if I just log on here, let's go into this journey here. You can see now we've got a note. So where this is useful is if you need to add any more information into the journey that might help someone else that's picking it up. So let's say you're off on annual leave, maybe you've got integrations in there and you just need to give someone a little bit more information than the usual start audiences, you can drag across a note. So if I pull this across, you might say something, click on it, you can enter your text here. So for the start audience, I might put, the start audience is driven from, and maybe it's a particular form. You can pop in the URL of that form. So it just helps, even if it's for your reference really, or anyone else's, so people can start to see where that's coming from. And it will also help us as well, to be honest. So I would definitely encourage this when it comes to the journeys, because let's say you've created one and you want us to check it, pop up an intercom, just say, I've added some notes, just some queries on here, let me know what you think. And if you want to delete them, you can do, or clone them, look. So you can change them at any time, as usual, like any of the other components. I'll delete that for now. That's a nice new feature that we've got there, and you can see it's just on the right-hand side in the components. You just drag and drop as usual. And then one of the other nice new features that we've just released is in our Microsite Builder when it comes down to the Genius blocks. So if I just log into one of these pages here, let this one load up. And as you know, at the minute, when it comes to the Genius blocks, you're able to show or hide a specific block depending on a marketing list. So when you hover over, you'll see the eye icon, and you'll be able to say, right, they are in this particular marketing list, so I want to show them. That's really useful if they're coming from maybe social. So if they come from social, they haven't got their details, you might want to display a form for them. If you display it for your current customers, you can hide that form. What we've also now launched is this here, so we've got is anonymous. So if we don't know who they are at all, we've never seen them, we can display maybe an intro block to say, welcome to our page, we can see it's the first time you've arrived here, and something like that to get them to fill in their information. Or we've got query string. So where query string will come in useful is if you're doing your social media campaigns and you've got UTM tags in those Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads, any of that, you're able to put in the query string. So you'd pop in the URL of your particular ad, and you'd also have contains or equals and what that UTM tag is. Then when anyone has that UTM tag, so if they've come from Facebook, you could only show that block to the people that have that particular URL. So any Facebook ads might click and you can display a specific block for those people. So it's really powerful, and it allows you to be even more dynamic when it comes to building out your microsites. Any questions on that one so far? Because I know it can sound quite complicated, but it's one of those things that's probably best put into practice. If you've got any, just pop on the chat if you do have any questions on that one so far. No? Okie dokie. So one of the things then I'll go through now is the suggestions that we've had over the past week. So everything that we've asked for this week is just for people to, submit their questions that they're finding they're struggling most with on Portal, or they need more information on. So first one that I've got is from Camilla at Hamwar, and she wants to talk about email and SMS personalization. So a lot of you may know this already within the email template builder, and I'll show you an SMS secondly. But if I start on email templates for now and pop into one of my emails, you might have noticed that sometimes people pop in first name. You can see that here. So obviously what that is doing is it'll pull through the first name of the contacts that you have within your data set. And that's incredibly important. First of all, if you're going to use personalization, make sure your data is up to date. It goes without saying, if you've got blanks in there, it will default to the word there. Or if you've only got one letter, so like N Smith, it will show there as well, rather than just showing the letter. So as long as you've got great data, you can really make use of the personalization. But what you'll notice within the actual text editor, if I click on any of the text boxes that opens up the text editor, on the right hand side, you'll see a drop down, personalization. So here you've got all of the options at your disposal. So if I just create some space to add that in, you might want to pick in their contact ID. So some people use their contact ID if they're actually using it within their CRM as well. So you might say your unique ID is contact ID. You've got then campaigns, so you might want to put in who it's from. So the from name, if you want to pop in the person. So let's say you're doing the personalization, you're doing it from 20 account managers, you change the from name, you can personalize it there. And then we've got all of the contact information we've got against them as well. So you can see we've got their full address. So if I want to populate a city, so you might be hi first name, we can see you're in Leeds. Why not pop in and see us? We've also got first name and postcodes. We've also got all of our usual aux fields. So any of the information that you've got stored within these aux fields, whether it be from form capture or from an integration, you're also able to populate this as well. So it might be quite useful, where a lot of you have the integrations and you've got an owner field, you can pop in that particular field here. So you can have one email set up with those owners then. So it can be like, hi first name, generic text, and then it can say many kind regards from, and then a specific account owner. We've also got date fields. Again, really useful when it comes to either integration or form capture, because if we're doing the likes of an appointment, let's say, someone books an appointment, it's on specific date, a specific year, you can pop that in there. So it would say, hi first name, your appointment is, perhaps you want to put the city as well, in Leeds on this date, and it will display the date. So again, when it comes down to building those automated journeys, you might send an email when it's coming up to that date, and you can then send that email and it will say, here you are, this is on this particular date. And you've got all of those aux date fields in there as well. Same with time. So the difference with aux date time is that we also add in a specific time after the date. So if you're capturing both of those elements, you can populate them there. And again, we've got things like company name. Company name is really useful. I mean, especially when it comes to those B2B communications, because it can really help personalize that email. So you might say, we can see company name needs help here, and it would say, we can see Force24 needs help. And it just really, makes it a much more stronger message and resonates with those recipients. And then again, we've got all of those information here, like job title and names, and also their phone number if you did want to populate it. Where I'd probably use the likes of phone number and address is if you're wanting people probably to confirm their details, let's say. So we can say, hi there, these are what we've got against you. To update these, click here. So it's a really good exercise then to encourage your recipients to click on the email and update their details on a specific form. And it means then you've got the most up-to-date information you can have against all of your data. And then that's all I would suggest really on the personalization. Then once all you do is you click save and that will show through. You're able to then preview that as well when it comes to the campaign stage. So when you're sending out your email, if I just do a quick test, what I'll do is I'll just publish it for now. Let's call it lead test. 28th of June, publish. And I'm going to create a campaign. Just put a few quick tests in there. There we go. Pick my marketing list that has actual people in there, so make sure I've got a lot of data. So there we go, click next. Just skip the next stage. So when it comes to your campaign overview, obviously this is a nice little stage because you can double check everything before you hit send, because that obviously can be quite scary. But what you can do here, you can see context and view artwork. So if I click on this, what it'll do is it will load all of my data up. So it's just searching through them now, and it's also generating the email at the same time to give you a preview. So what you're able to do, if I look at this one here, so we haven't got first name against Stephen here, look, but I can see that we've got his email address. If I click view artwork, it would default to there. So obviously what I want to say here is hi there. So make sure you include something like hi so it makes sense. We've got 0 against his data here as well. We don't have a date against him, so we haven't pulled through a date. So what that would do from your point of view is you can see that your data isn't up to date, so you know the personalization isn't pulling through. It's a really good reminder of what you need to check, and it just shows you exactly how they will see the email. If you want to check another contact as well, you can search. So if I start typing another email address, like so, and then click preview email, it will update the email. So here you can see I've got a little bit more information against me. So I've got my name, where I'm from, and the date in there as well. And then obviously once you're happy, click send. When it comes to SMS, the same personalization fields apply. I'll just pop in one of these journeys here. I'm just going to drag across the SMS stage. Send SMS. So first of all, it's worth noting that there is SMS Editor Help. If you click on that, it will show you the types of placeholders that you can use. It'll show you how to also pop in a URL. And it's important that you use this actually because this is how your clicks will be tracked. So if you always do square brackets URL and then the actual URL you're going to send them to, as well as the opt-out link there. But for personalization, the same applies. So, where you've got first name, you type in first name, and on the right-hand side, it will just preview it straight away for you, so you know that's working. If I did arc state 1, it should show me the date. There we go, also populates the date. So SMS is really good, especially when it comes to appointment reminders or event reminders, because it's a really nice thing to say, right, the event is on this day, pop in the date as well. So again, it can all be automated and pulled through from the information you've got within the specific data. Any questions on personalization so far on this section? If not, I'll pop back to email. Well, okay, while we're on the personalization, just to cover again for anyone who hasn't seen it, we've also got the the Genius blocks as well. So where you've got your personalization, if you really want to make your email dynamic, pop into layout mode and you can see the eye icon, exactly like we have on our Microsite Builder. And this is where you can manage who sees a specific block. So I can show it to only a specific marketing list. So this really helps when you're kind of drilling down to different industries. And the way that we use it for a lot of our clients is we'll swap out just small things like imagery. If we're targeting the motor industry, just showing an image of a motor is enough to resonate with them, that marketplace. Maybe you're targeting hairdressers and things like that. Swap out those images, put them in their different segments within your database, and you can, then it will send this email on the fly. Okay, so the next one is from Chelsea at iDocs about how to create new snippets. Okay, so this one's really, really easy. So most of you will have had, a lot of time now playing within the email builder. You might have created lots of different emails, but you might not have saved all of those out as specific snippets. I would suggest constantly saving anything new you do, because the more you create, the more you actually create these emails, the more snippets you're building over time. And you'll see, obviously, all of your snippets on the right-hand side here. So let's just, as an example, if I go back to my content page, let's just say this block here. So I might be like, right, actually, I've used this green a lot, I'm going to change it. So I'm going to change all of this color, change it here as well, to the pink. save. Save. And then I might change the CTA as well. Use the green colour here. Change the text, so new guide, new bit of my colour. Download today, first name. Click save. Right. So I've created a brand new block, and I'm actually right. I want to use this again and again. So the best thing to do now is pop back on my layout mode, and you'll see when you hover over, you've got the different options, like the pencil if you want to edit it. You've got the copy icon, moving it up and down your email if you wanted to. The same eye icon when it comes to your Genius blocks, but then you've got your plus icon. Click on the plus icon, and then this is where you can save it as a snippet. So you can simply add to your favorites if you're going to click the favorite icon here, or you can add them to a new category. So you might be one column snippet. You might create a new category. You might call it block or something. Create a brand new category. Click save. What that will do is then when you go into your snippets, sorry, I meant to tag. When you go into your layout mode then and see those snippets, you'll see now that is there for you to use again and again. Any questions on this bit so far? No? One thing to note, what I did here, you'll see there's an eye icon. So I'd actually already applied who manages this particular block. Before you save it as a snippet, it's worth taking that particular element off. So we just click on remove and then save it as a snippet. Then that you're not going to hide it from anyone by mistake. So the eye icon is really just a handy little feature, so you know exactly that is actually being hidden away and won't be viewed by all recipients. So another question we've got is from Aaron, and it's about the breakdown of the make decision stages. So one of the things that we're actually just going to publish is a bit of a glossary, basically, to show you what each of these elements mean. So if I just go into Journey Manager, you probably thought, if I click on here, what are all these different drop downs when I click on them? And yes, there's a lot of different options to choose from, but when you break it down, it doesn't seem as complicated as what it first looks. So you'll see all of the first common ones are activities. So activities is anything that might have happened that a recipient has physically done. So, opened an email, replied to SMS, bounced, clicked, all of that will exist in activities. So if you think about that, you can already rule out this entire top section if you're not wanting to target on it. If you're wanting to do an open email though, you'll see straight away all activities, has opened email, boom. Next then, it'll start to do, in alphabetical order, all of the contact details you might have stored. So, where you've got the address one, the city, the aux fields, any date fields, that's where you'll pick from your contact information. If I scroll down even further, you'll also have your marketing list selection. And again, it's all in alphabetical order for you to just pop down on. And then you'll also see status fields. So this is if someone's active, have they unsubscribed, or are they still active in the portal? So where you might make a decision like that really is when it probably comes down to the transactional emails perhaps, or you're wanting to query it directly in contact search. And then you've also got subscription preference. So if you've already applied this within the settings section of the portal, the subscription preferences. So rather than blanket unsubscribing, you can let people just unsubscribe from specific campaigns. So if you're sending out a lot of guides or event types of communications, you can give the option for them to unsubscribe from the types of campaigns, and you can also then query that in the decision stage. Where we've got things like we've got current time, we've got journey stages, journey, and then journey activities. So where we've got journey activities, again, it's similar to the section right at the top, which is about activities, but this is specific to that journey. So you might say, have they clicked on anything in that journey? Or you might do a specific stage, which is what we tend to do. So have they clicked stage name, and then all you would do is just type in, let's say, email 1, if that's your first stage name. But what, like I say, we'll be publishing a full glossary on all of these options just to explain them further if you do have any questions on them. Because I realise it's quite rich. I've got a question, hang on. On the common list, is there always put favourite options in the top? There isn't at the minute, but what I would suggest is if you're having to scroll through, so rather than scrolling through, start typing email and it'll go there straight away for you. So if I just show you that again, it's quite quick. So here on the marketing list, start typing email, and there you go. So you don't have to scroll through each time, just start typing those first few letters of what you're actually wanting to query. And there you go. Any other questions on that one? No? No problem. And it's worth noting, obviously, all of those same decisions can be done within context search. When it comes to the drop-down menu for the start audience, a lot of the time I do tend to create my start audience actually within context search first. So rather than doing it straight within the start audience, because you don't always get the view of the context unless you're absolutely certain of who it's going to, if it's a marketing list. But if you want to query the data, you might want to do, right, status is email, and then I might want to do city is Leeds, let's say. So I'm going to pick address 1 city. Right, so that might be my query then. So I know, right, these are all the people. I can see all of the context then. And then what I can do, you'll see this little save icon. I'm going to save that now as Leeds query, click confirm. That will then be on my contacts filter here. So here are my saved queries. So if I ever want to use that again, rather than having to do it each and every time, I can go, right, I'll click that, and then go into set the selected, which will change the query for me below and filter again. That same feature is now available to me then within our start audience. So if I go back to the Journey Manager, click on my start audience, and then you'll see the drop down for your saved queries. I might go, there we go, set selected. It will pop here for me. Click on the context refresh. So what that does, it'll just tell you how many people that journey is actually going to go to. Again, really important if you want to make sure it's actually going to send to people. And then click save. So it's just a really easy way of being able to see those contacts before you actually send them on a journey, for either extra peace of mind or really just for interrogation purposes. Any questions on that part so far? No? And one of the other questions I've got is on split testing. Okay, so when it comes to split testing, I always try and think about why split testing and what you want it to do, because people, we often talk about sending, subject lines and sending to the most subject line that's performed the best. But what I would really like everyone to do is probably look at expanding the journey. So rather than sending one email, one subject line, see what happens, it's not the best way of doing it. We want to follow on and look at what they've done, what actions they've performed, because one email, there could be a multitude of reasons why they've not opened it. They might be on holiday, they might have simply just flicked through it on the mobile because they're out at a meeting. There's so many different things. So what I would suggest is really looking at the split testing, either if you're wanting to look at different types of emails to see what's performing best, who's clicking the most, on CTAs, and more coming back to it afterwards and looking through your campaigns. So if I just go split test, let's say one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to split test CTA. So within my email, I might have an email that has find out more, but then I might do something a little different in a second email template where I'm alluding more to clicking the guide, click here directly, or contact us now, testing the two different options to see what gets you the best clicks. So if I just do status email first of all, what I would do then is I would drag across my split. So I could do this over 50% each, or I could make it even more complicated and add as many different percentages as I like. And what will happen here is it will automatically split the data. So it won't do it based on alphabetical. It will do it randomly, so it's a real split. And then you'll see it's very much like the make decision component where you've got these two 50%. So I can drag across my email. I might call this email 1 CTA, click here, select my usual options, click save, and then I might copy this, pop in my other email, and maybe this one's like find out more or something. Or something a little bit more clever, but you get the idea. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to test those, and then what I want to do as well is I just want to follow up. So maybe I'm going to set a delay time by 5 days, let's say. Maybe then I want to make a decision on these particular email campaigns. So if I drag across fake decision, maybe what I want to do here is have they clicked or have they opened, because I want to try it again within the same period of time. So did they open either email one? If I just duplicate this. So I've got 2 emails in this instance. So I'm going to select or. So have they opened either or of these particular emails? And if they have, I might just end their journey and I can start interrogating their data. And if they haven't, I might just duplicate that section there. And then everyone know, I'll just copy this section here, do the same split test again, or perhaps do something a little bit different where I do test something like the subject lines. Then when it comes to reporting, you could come back in a week's time, go to your automated campaigns, and then this is where you'll see all of those reporting. So you'll see, this is one of our webinar emails, and you'll see exactly how many it went to. So let's just say, for argument's sake, this is our split test. The 2 will be together here. And very quickly I'll be able to see the opens and clicks, and I'll see the name. So very quickly I can say, right, this one got the most clicks, so obviously this CTA resonates more with our users, so try and look at more direct CTA. So what I'm trying to say is basically when it comes to split testing, try and think about more things that matter, not just subject lines. I don't always find that that's the best approach. I think going down this route really enables you to really empower it. And you can see then, if I click on view report, I can go even further into my results if I wanted to, and actually see those people that opened and clicked. So if I pop on the unique clicks rather, I'll be able to search on those contacts and see all of those people that clicked, but also view their contact as well to see more activity against them if I wanted to. Any other questions so far? I think I've covered most of the stuff that was recommended from the actual webinar invite. Or is there anything else anyone else would like to cover before I close this one off? If anyone wants to pop any questions, please do so now. If not, I don't think so. What we'll do is we'll send out the email afterwards with the link to the recording as well, and you can also check out all the previous recordings we've got after the webinar. Yeah, we'll send out an invite for the next one. For the next one, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to send it out for more advanced users. So if anyone feels that they know all the basics, split testing, email personalization, I'm going to do something a little bit different and talk about more advanced features on the platform to really move forward with Force 24. So I'll leave it for now. As usual, any other questions, just get in touch with us. But I will speak to you all soon. Thank you for joining. Bye.